Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to explore 3 of the most mysterious secrets in GTA V Online. From hidden tribes, to creepy ghosts, to some of the craziest fan theories out there. Make sure you watch until the end, because some of these mysteries will totally blow your mind. And of course, if you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Alright guys, let's start with the first mystery: ghosts. These paranormal appearances can actually be found in different locations across the map, but today I'm going to show you 3 specific spots. The first ghost we're checking out can be found right here, in the western section of Fudge Lane, in El Burro Heights. If you look closely around the memorial site, or even up on top of the nearby water tower, you might spot something really strange. But here's the catch: this only happens between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. in game time. During that 1-hour window, a ghostly figure appears. It just stands there, completely still, staring out into the distance. What's really creepy is that the ghost doesn't move, it doesn't chase you, but the second you get too close, it vanishes instantly. Some players believe it's linked to the story behind the memorial, while others think it's just one of Rockstar's many hidden Easter eggs meant to fuel fan theories. Either way, this ghost at Fudge Lane is one of the eeriest paranormal secrets you can find in GTA V Online. Before looking for the ghost, I actually wasted a little bit of time at the Diamond Casino, just to see if I could win the brand new car on the Lucky Wheel. Spoiler alert, of course, I didn't win it. I mean, come on Rockstar, why is it always clothing or RP? I swear, the car doesn't even exist, it's just a myth at this point. Anyway, after losing at the wheel again, I went back to hunting down ghosts.
Bruh.
Okay guys, it's almost 9 p.m. in-game. Let's see if we can actually find something here. Nothing so far. The ghost should appear right around this time, but it looks like it's not showing up anymore. Maybe Rockstar removed it with one of the later updates. After all, this mystery has been around since way back in 2015, and a lot of players used to talk about it online. Some people say they've seen it recently, others think it was just an old Easter egg that got patched out. Either way, it's pretty strange. The fact that the ghost was here for years makes it one of those mysteries that keeps the community talking. Is it really gone, or is it just hiding in another spot waiting to be found? Alright guys, I think it's safe to say that our little ghost hunt here was a failure. Looks like this mystery has slipped through our hands. Maybe Rockstar removed it, maybe it's hiding somewhere else, who knows? Alright, let's move on to our next ghost. This one is located right at the top of Miguel Madrazo's mansion, up in Vinewood Hills. If you come here between 11 p.m. and midnight in-game, you might be able to spot a ghostly figure around the mansion. Now, the creepy part is the backstory. Some players believe this ghost is tied to the violent history of the Madrazo family. Miguel, being the son of Martin Madrazo, inherited all the power, money, and enemies that come with his lifestyle. According to fan theories, the spirit you see here could be one of the many victims of the Madrazo family, forever haunting the mansion as a reminder of the bloodshed behind their empire. Just like with the first ghost, if you try to get too close, it fades away instantly. But the fact that it appears here, in one of the most luxurious and secure locations in Vinewood Hills, makes the whole thing even more chilling. Players were already talking about strange figures around this mansion, and a lot of theories popped up online. But if it's gone now, it could mean Rockstar didn't want to leave too many paranormal Easter eggs in online mode. Either way, that's another ghost hunt failed. But don't worry, we still have one more to check out. Alright guys, time for our third and final ghost of the night. This one is found in one of the creepiest spots in Los Santos, the alleyway right behind the old Raven Slaughterhouse. If you come here between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. in-game, there's a chance you'll see a strange ghostly figure lurking in the shadows. Now, the location itself already sets the mood. An abandoned slaughterhouse, dark alleyways, and the perfect place for something sinister. According to fan theories, this ghost could be the restless spirit of someone who died inside the slaughterhouse years ago. Some players claim they've heard unsettling noises here at night, footsteps, whispers, even the sound of metal chains dragging on the floor. So here's the interesting part, guys. These ghosts weren't just random Easter eggs. Rockstar actually added them as part of a special event in GTA Online. When you log in, you'll get an automatic text message from the Ghosts Exposed documentary team, saying they've signed you up for a public paranormal photography competition with other players across southern San Andreas. The goal: you need to track down 10 hidden ghosts across the map and photograph them up close using Snapmatic on your phone. The ghost has to be clearly visible in the frame, otherwise it won't count. Now, the tricky part is that each ghost only appears for one in-game hour, and if you get too close it vanishes immediately. But don't worry, if you back up a little, it will respawn. Each ghost has 2 possible spawn points in its area, which makes the hunt even more fun and a bit challenging. For every ghost photo you take, you'll earn $20,000, and once you've collected 9 of them, the final ghost will spawn. If you capture that one too, you get an extra $50,000 bonus. And the best part, you can do the event with both of your GTA Online characters, which means you can actually double your total reward. But here's something you should know: this whole ghost event actually dates all the way back to 2013, when GTA V first released. At the time, these ghosts were part of the early mysteries that had everyone in the community talking. Players were sharing screenshots, theories, and stories online, trying to figure out if Rockstar had hidden some bigger secret behind these paranormal sightings. Of course, over the years with updates and changes to GTA Online, some of these events may have been patched, changed, or even removed completely. But the fact that it started back in 2013 is what makes it feel so legendary. It's one of the first big mysteries that really gave GTA V its reputation for hidden secrets. So at the end of the day, most of these ghosts we didn't really manage to find in GTA Online. And the reason is simple: the majority of them were actually placed in story mode, not online. That's why when we go ghost hunting in GTA Online, many of these classic spots just don't show anything anymore. But Rockstar has always loved adding creepy details and weird paranormal vibes into the game. Even if the actual ghosts aren't always there, you can still come across plenty of spooky ambient events, strange noises at night, abandoned locations that feel haunted, or even NPCs that act a little too weird sometimes. It all adds to the mysterious atmosphere of Los Santos, and keeps the community talking about hidden secrets more than 10 years later. Alright guys, I think it's safe to say we can officially cross the ghosts off our list. Most of them are hidden in story mode, and the rest seem to have been patched out or changed over the years. So let's not waste more time chasing shadows. It's time to move on to our next big mystery, the tribes of GTA V. These are some of the weirdest and creepiest groups you can run into around San Andreas, and trust me, they're just as mysterious as the ghosts. Now let's talk about our first mysterious tribe in GTA V, the Altruist cult. This is a group of armed cannibals who live in a camp up in the Chiliad mountain state wilderness. They're completely isolated from the rest of Los Santos and believe in an extreme, twisted version of giving back to society. Their name, Altruists, comes from the idea of altruism, but in their case it's been turned into something dark and disturbing. They prey on hitchhikers and vulnerable people around San Andreas, kidnapping them and bringing them back to their camp for sacrifice. Inside their compound, you'll find disturbing signs of their lifestyle: human remains, strange writings, and even radio broadcasts where they share their bizarre philosophy. In story mode, Trevor is the only character who can interact with the Altruists directly. Whenever he picks up certain random hitchhikers, instead of taking them to their destination, he can deliver them to the cult's camp. In return, Trevor receives money, but the victim is never seen again. Eventually, after delivering enough people, Trevor himself will be lured inside their camp, but instead of joining them, he gets ambushed by dozens of Altruists. This triggers a big firefight where Trevor has to fight his way out, essentially wiping out the entire cult. What makes them so creepy is that Rockstar designed them as a hidden faction. You never meet them in online, and unless you explore the mountains in story mode or take hitchhikers to them, you might never even discover they exist. They're one of the darkest secrets of GTA V. Okay guys, we finally made it. This is the infamous Altruist camp, hidden up in the mountains near Mount Chiliad. The moment you get here, you can already feel how different this place is compared to the rest of Los Santos. The camp is surrounded by wooden fences, with guard towers and armed cult members patrolling. You'll see tents, bonfires, and even strange altars where they perform their sacrifices. Scattered around the area there are bones, bloodstains, and creepy writings that show just how twisted their beliefs really are. If you explore their camp carefully, you'll even notice small disturbing details, piles of human remains, cages, and propaganda they use to recruit or brainwash new followers. It's one of the darkest and most hidden corners of GTA V, and Rockstar put a lot of detail here for players willing to explore. The Altruists are always armed with shotguns, assault rifles, and melee weapons, and they'll immediately attack anyone who trespasses. Their ideology is basically survival mixed with cannibalism. They believe that consuming others is a way of giving back to humanity, which is why they call themselves the Altruist cult. And remember, this place only really comes into play if you're playing as Trevor. He's the only one who can deliver victims here and trigger the final Altruist shootout. For all other players, the camp just sits here quietly, like a creepy reminder that San Andreas hides more than just cars and heists. So, if we talk about mysterious tribes in GTA V, there's really one that stands above all the rest, the Altruist cult. Hidden deep in the mountains near Mount Chiliad, this group is nothing like the gangs you usually find in Los Santos. They're not interested in money, drugs, or territory. Their entire existence is based on a twisted ideology, cannibalism as a form of altruism. According to them, consuming other people is a way of giving back to humanity, of keeping the cycle of life going. Alright guys, now let's move on to another mysterious group in GTA V, the Bikers, also known as the Lost MC. These guys aren't supernatural like the ghosts, and they're not as twisted as the Altruist cult, but make no mistake, they are just as dangerous in their own way. The Lost MC are an outlaw motorcycle gang, and they actually function more like an organized club than just a street gang. Their main base is in Stab City, out in Blaine County, but you can also find them in places like Grapeseed, East Vinewood, and along the coastal highways. They roll in groups, always on their bikes, wearing their signature leather jackets and biker gear, giving off that classic outlaw vibe. In the story, Trevor has some of the biggest clashes with the Lost MC, since he wants control over the same trades they're running. This leads to several brutal confrontations, showing just how ruthless both Trevor and the bikers really are. So while the Lost MC might not have the mystery of ghosts or cults, they represent one of the most grounded and realistic dangers in San Andreas, a violent gang that lives by their own rules and is always ready for war. So if we're putting these mysterious groups into a ranking, I'd place the Lost MC in third place. Yes, they're definitely dangerous, armed to the teeth, always rolling deep in their packs, and involved in some serious criminal business. But at the same time, compared to the Altruist cult or some of the creepier mysteries in the game, they feel a little more grounded. They're bikers, outlaws, and gangsters, no doubt a real threat if you cross them, but not quite as terrifying as cannibal fanatics hiding in the mountains, or the supernatural presence of ghosts haunting San Andreas. Next up, let's talk about another dangerous group you can run into in GTA V, the O'Neill brothers. These guys aren't bikers or cultists, but a family of violent hillbillies running their operations straight out of a big farm in Grapeseed, Blaine County. Their farmhouse looks simple on the outside, but inside it's the base for their entire criminal business. The O'Neills are heavily involved in meth production and trafficking, which of course puts them in direct conflict with Trevor Phillips. This rivalry eventually explodes into one of the most chaotic missions in the game, where Trevor storms their ranch and literally burns the entire place down. What makes the O'Neills stand out is their family dynamic. They're not a typical gang with ranks or uniforms, they're a clan, all blood relatives, which makes them extremely loyal but also reckless. They fight in large numbers, usually armed with shotguns, rifles, and farm equipment, and they'll defend their territory to the death. They might not have the creepy mystery of the Altruists or the structured power of the Lost MC, but their aggression and the chaos surrounding their farm definitely earned them a place among the most dangerous groups in San Andreas.
I can't find where they moved the goddamn chronic factory to!
Alright guys, now we've talked about the Altruist cult at number 1, and the Lost MC come in at number 3. Slipping in between them, for second place, we've got the O'Neill brothers. Here's why they deserve number 2. They're insane, in a way the motorcycles can't match. The O'Neills aren't just about smuggling or gang rivalries. They cook meth right in the basement of their farm in Grapeseed. They run a full redneck drug operation. They're violent, territorial, and Trevor, one of the main characters, has very personal beef with them. He attacks their ranch, burns them out, fights to kill them, so the threat they pose isn't just random, it's story-driven, intense. The farm layout itself gives them a disadvantage over the cult in terms of mystery, but advantage in terms of danger. Because they're so exposed to farm in the countryside, you might think they are easier to deal with, but no, they've got numbers, they've got weapons, they're home base with meth labs and defenses, and they'll fight back hard. The Altruist cult brings the supernatural plus cannibalism angle, which adds horror, mystery, and unpredictability. The O'Neills are brutal, but more grounded in drug crime, scary, yes, but less supernatural. The cult's threat is existential, fanatical, symbolic. The O'Neills are criminally dangerous, but their motivations are more conventional: money, dominance, retaliation, which makes them terrifying, but in a different way. Alright guys, we've covered the main dangerous groups in GTA V, from the cannibalistic Altruist cult to the violent O'Neill brothers, all the way down to the Lost MC bikers. Now it's time to move on to something completely different: the craziest theories in GTA V. These are mysteries that players have been talking about for years, things that Rockstar never fully explained, leaving fans too. Let's start with the most famous and legendary theory in GTA V history, the Mount Chiliad mystery. If you climb all the way to the top of Mount Chiliad and look inside the cable car station, you'll find a strange mural painted on the wall. At first glance, it looks simple, but players quickly realized it could be hiding a secret code. The drawing shows a pyramid-shaped mountain with symbols scattered across it, UFOs, eggs, and even what looks like a jetpack. For years, the community has been trying to decode this mural. Some believe it's Rockstar's way of hinting at hidden content, like aliens, secret technology, or even time travel. Others think it's just a troll by the developers, meant to keep players hunting for something that might not even exist. But the mystery doesn't stop there. If you complete the game at 100%, and then go to the top of Mount Chiliad at 3 AM during a thunderstorm, a UFO actually appears hovering above the mountain. This discovery blew the minds of players back in 2013, because it proved at least part of the mural had some truth behind it. Still, the biggest question remains: what about the jetpack symbol? To this day, many fans believe there must be a way to unlock a jetpack in story mode, hidden somewhere in the game. The theory was so powerful that Rockstar later added a jetpack to GTA Online, almost like a wink to the community. Alright guys, the next big mystery we have to talk about is none other than Bigfoot, the legendary creature that players have been searching for since GTA San Andreas, and that made its way into GTA V as well. For years, players claimed to have seen strange shadows or figures in the forests of Blaine County, especially around Mount Chiliad and the woods near Paleto Bay. Rumors spread online, and just like in real life, Bigfoot became one of the most debated topics in the GTA community. Rockstar actually played into this legend in multiple ways. In story mode, there's a mission called The Last One, where Franklin meets a hunter who claims to have tracked Bigfoot. You chase what looks like the creature through the woods, but in the end, it turns out to just be a man in a costume, a clear nod to the myth. But here's where it gets even crazier. After the release of the enhanced edition of GTA V, Rockstar added the so-called peyote plants. If you find and eat a special golden peyote on a foggy Tuesday morning while it's snowing in-game, yes, the conditions are that specific, Franklin can actually hallucinate and transform into Bigfoot himself. This Easter egg blew fans' minds because it made the myth real in a Rockstar kind of way. So, while Bigfoot might not walk around Blaine County for real, Rockstar turned the legend into one of the coolest and most iconic mysteries of the entire game. And finally, to close out our list of GTA V's craziest mysteries, we have one of the darkest and most disturbing legends in the entire game, the story of the Infinity Killer, also known as Merle Abrahams. Merle Abrahams was a man living in Sandy Shores who believed in the so-called Infinity 8 theory. According to him, killing 8 people and burying them in a special way would somehow grant immortality. He became obsessed with this idea, painting cryptic messages all around the desert, on rocks, on walls, and even near his own house. If you explore the game carefully, you can actually find his abandoned house, covered in strange writings about infinity, numbers, and death. The creepiest part, police reports in the game mention that Abrahams was arrested as a suspect for multiple murders. Later, his burned-down house was left behind as a creepy reminder of his crimes. But the real shock comes when you discover the Infinity murders themselves. Hidden in the waters near Paleto Bay, you can find the bodies of 8 people tied up underwater, confirming that the Infinity Killer's legend was true all along. Unlike the Mount Chiliad mural or Bigfoot, this isn't about aliens or myths. This is a grounded, brutal serial killer story baked right into the world of GTA V, and the fact that Rockstar never explains it directly makes it even scarier. It's just one of those dark secrets hidden in the game, waiting for players to stumble upon. And that's it, guys, we've reached the end of today's video. We went through ghosts, dangerous tribes, and some of the craziest mysteries in GTA V, from the Altruist cult to Bigfoot and even the Infinity Killer. I hope you enjoyed this journey through the darker and weirder side of Los Santos. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Also, let me know down in the comments which of these mysteries or gangs do you think is the scariest. Or maybe you've discovered something in GTA that I didn't cover today. I always love reading your theories and ideas. Thanks so much for watching. You guys are the best, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.